looks like we got ourselves an actual draft here. Lovely. And there's the Falstad ban.
We knew that was going to happen. Falstad had zero chance that we would see that hero make it through into game one. Falstad taken out right away as Gunnar bans it out for the red side. Blue side here, captained by FullOnGritz, player we were just talking about. I want to see what they ban out here. You know, Hogger has been kind of an enigma in the scene, just completely super strong at the start. Uther seeing a lot of priority, as well as Sonya. But there are definitely a lot of avenues that we can take this right now.
Another hero that got touched, and it is an old favorite on Sky Temple, is Tyrael. Now, Tyrael did get a nerf to a level 4 talent that a lot of people were saying takes him out of tanking contention. However, there's a lot of beef around that auto attack build. You could see something like an off-lane Tyrael, like a bruiser Tyrael, because the holy ground on the boss point is still as good as ever.
Yeah, I mean, boss control is always massive, and I gotta say, I can't help but feel like those pure utility heroes like Tyrael tend to be a little underrated within the grand scheme of things. I love me a Blaze, I love me a Tyrael. People have caught on that Medivh is insane, even outside of the competitive leagues, but Tyrael, I think, is one that doesn't quite get the credit he deserves when it comes to being able to provide teammates with move speed, attack speed, shielding, slowing the enemy team, walling them out. It's just a whole bundle of interfering with the game in ways that aren't strictly damage or tanking, and I love it personally. Always a fan favorite for me.
I mean, Tyrael's one of those heroes, he gets in there and you don't understand why you're behind. Like, you're looking at the stats going like, we're ahead everywhere. Because everything that Tyrael does is kind of like a pseudo buff or debuff. Like, it doesn't get caught in the damage or the healing. It's just, he does so much ethereal type stuff that can be really hard to quantify.
Absolutely, and here we see both teams picking up their offlaners at the first possible opportunity. D.Va drafted by FullOnGritz with the very first pick of our event today, and Hogger is the response from FullOnGritz. Actually, a Kharazim coming out from Gunnar. I know it's a particular favorite for him right here, but so far, neither of these teams completely showing the full hand of their drafts. I don't think that anyone is locked into a particular style, but a strong overall setup for both.
Absolutely. No tanks locked in so far. The damage is still pretty flexible here on both sides. D.Va is just a great all-rounder. Garrosh going to be the ban here. Interesting one. Could be that blue side is thinking about something like a Varian, like a Diablo, that they aren't interested in just getting flung right into the back line for a Kharazim blow-up.
Garrosh is one hero that, when I think of it, I think he wants to be near you. Garrosh is a hero that hates being moved around, he hates being poked, but he loves to lock people down. So if he can get up in your face, that is always something that's useful, especially if you've got a Genji on your mind, which I honestly expect to see at least one time today. Genji, you know, someone in my chat said, Tyrael, rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I think with Genji, rumors of his death have been greatly exaggerated. When you're into teams with no hard CC, and taking out Garrosh is one way to sort of guarantee that, Genji can actually be a very effective tool into squishy, immobile backliners. However, we do see Cassia making it to the second half of the draft, along with a Sonya, meaning this is either Hogger flex, Hogger tank, Sonya flex. There's a lot of ways that this could go, hypothetically, but that's not quite what I expected.
Absolutely. It looks like we're looking at a more macro style coming out from the blue team here with this Hogger Sonya, but Sonya has been kind of creeping up the ranks as a main frontliner. It's going to be responded to by the Muradin, probably with the Skullcracker coming through just to get those micro stuns out. That can be trouble for both Cassia and Sonya.
Yep, Cassia is a hero that just wants to stay on the move all the time. A second healer actually coming out for the blue side here as we continue toward the end of this draft. And this is going to provide a great sense of a war of attrition for the blue team. They know that any fight that grinds out a 5-on-5, that's something that they can win. However, it was conventional classic knowledge in HGC that this is one of the hardest maps to force 5-on-5s on. Unless you're consistently fighting in the boss pit, the enemy team can very easily turn Sky Temple into a game of skirmishes, into a game of simply just, you're always split. You're always having to deal with the macro pressure from a sideline. You can't take a 5-on-5 unless it's in the boss pit very, very often. So the decision to go with the double support, as the red side has a much more conventional draft, conventional main tank, conventional offlaner, conventional everything, I want to see how that plays out given the unique intricacies of Sky Temple.
It's an interesting setup here from the blue side as well, because they're not a traditional double support in that they need to all be together for the comp to work. All of the heroes there have survivability. There's a lot of ways that that team can be split into pieces and still work as just a hold your ground survivable comp.
Yep, and I just love hearing all about that, but let's get into the first game here. As we see on the blue side, on the left here, we have Lupus playing Stukov, SQUIRREL on Brightwing, FullOnGritz playing that Hogger, DeadWish, not DeathWish, DeadWish on Cassia, and EpicPlayer on the Sonya.
On the right in the red, we've got CMGunnar on the Kharazim C10 Ver HD1 on the Greymane. JUSTINCASE is playing the Muradin, FullOnGritz is on the D.Va, and we've got Spark on the Sylvanas. And looks like we're heading down to the bottom lane for a little bit of Sylvanas trade action.
Yep, already just getting the cheese started out early in this game, getting a structure out. That's going to be a very early tower. Spark got to go in, get one last auto attack to secure it. JUSTINCASE looking to interfere with rotations a bit, not actually going directly to his team, but instead being an obstacle in the bushes between the lanes as red side now starts to push up towards these bottom lanes. We know that the split push is always going to be a threat by this red team. We know that the boss is always going to be a threat by this red team. As we continue through the laning phase, camps are going to come up soon, both teams vying to get some early side pressure here. Grit's already taking a lot of damage in the offlane as well.
Absolutely. We see the strategy of red come to light here. There's a ton of building siege available through almost every member besides maybe D.Va. So I expect to see red moving around the map a lot, trying to get extra towers, trying to get every bit of damage they can. Because on Sky Temple, every bit counts with this objective.
Absolutely, and I think some of my mouse settings are a little out of whack here, friends. If anybody could help me out just figuring out how to not get my mouse when I middle click in order to scroll it around to not go out of the screen and stop when I'm at the edge, that will make the experience much smoother here. Just going to try to get that quickly out of the way before we get into these games too much. But so far, blue side a slight experience lead as they get their bruisers out significantly quicker. Greymane actually rotating out towards the top lane. C10 Ver HD trying to just make sure that the red side will have full vision on the defense here. And now bruisers only alive for the red side very soon. Shortly here, Brightwing staying bottom in the meantime, getting that side soak as red side commits heavily to top side.
Getting that split soak with the global, very good strategy coming out from blue, but they've got to deal with this bruiser camp. It's providing that 20 spell armor. They've got the extra support here with the Stukov. EpicPlayer could be in trouble, manages to spin for just enough health to get back behind that wall, but now we've got the big siege coming on through from red. FullOnGritz coming up from the middle lane to try to access, but this wall is already taking a lot of damage, Mockery.
I mean, that's a lot of push pressure right there already. 2 towers taken out by red side, and the important thing about Sky Temple is that every structure you take matters. Every single structure that you take is more effectiveness for your objective. However, already a full level of soak down for red side, and even having a few structures lead can't quite make up for that loss as it is right here. I'm being told to swap to full screen. I'm going to go ahead and give that a shot, see if that helps.
Should help keep the mouse bounded, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to keep the mouse unbound. Specifically, I want to be able to middle pan around the entire map, but it seems my mouse cursor is hitting the edge of the screen and stopping it.
Oh, that's a weird one. Hopefully that gets, hopefully that switch fixes it up. But our temple phase is up and running. Looks like Hogger controlling that mid for now. FullOnGritz is getting some work done there. Right now, D.Va and Brightwing still down in the bottom lane, so we've got a little 3v3 skirmish going on in the top lane. Spark manages to get out of there. Can Lupus be as lucky? Brightwing coming in with the warp is going to arrive just in time.
C10!
C10 Bridge D! The poison spear of Sonya with enough damage to take down Greymane.
Right now, blue team has got to be feeling good. Already up a kill right now. Got the advantage of having the Brightwing, which means D.Va is going to get out-rotated whenever she's splitting away on those fights. With no mount into a global, that was effectively a free player advantage created by the blue side, which we will see consistently happen as this game goes on. Brightwing pushing away in the side lane, and actually, hold on a second, Sylvanas with the red team, taking out more towers in the mid lane. XP differential has started to equalize a little bit, as we see the push-in continue some more. Stukov silence, they don't care about a lurking arm. They're getting the gates down. Lupus taking a lot of damage.
Lupus having to move back. Brightwing warping on in. Every time Brightwing comes in with the save, that's less minion XP gained in those side lanes. But take a look up top here. EpicPlayer is just pushing in that extended splash on the slam, getting a ton of work done and actually finishing off that top fort. The shattered ground on 4 has become so instrumental to Sonya's gameplay in the last couple months here, Mockery.
Yeah, W build Sonya, like I said, talking with Cavalier Guest about it, he's been a proponent of the build for a while. He just thinks it's overtuned. You just jump in with that leap, absolutely destroy people. Your Ws give you wave clear, they give you burst, it's sustained damage, it's all over the place. Everybody's been getting deleted by it. 1 second, you're rolling along, you're fine, you've got full health, and the next second, you're getting absolutely murdered. So that's something that I expect to see a decent bit of here. Lupus maybe getting caught out a little bit too much at the moment. Do we see JustincCase moving forward?
Brightwing. Uh-oh, C10 in trouble.
For HD,
taken out again.
Gonna be taken out as blue team moves forward. Now with the 5v4 created and the advantage on the boss at the moment, looking to control this pit, take it down as fast as possible. They know red side currently lacking the tools in order to contest this as much as they might like. Muradin heading all the way over to the top lane. He knows they're not going to even try to contest this, and they're going to back off. I did notice earlier in a fight in mid lane, we did see that Skullcracker come out from Muradin as predicted. So that is going to be an interesting one. We've got those micro interruptions on Sonya. That's another option for potential interruptions of lurking arm, possible disruptions to Cassia's avoidance. I think it makes a lot of sense to attempt to bring that extra additional level of crowd control to these fights.
Oh, for sure. Just the micro stuns do so much work. In even just interrupting movement every once in a while, not letting you get into the positions you want in the way that you want them. It's really just going to do a lot of work here for JustincCase.
Ooh, hold on. Whoa!
Muradin is going to get exploded. Spark taken out by the ball lightning as well. Cursed Bullet going to land on a DeadWish, but they want to find FullOnGritz, who gets popped before the bomb can go down. Hogger in the back. Uh-oh, is going to get isolated by the 7-sided strikes. Can Hogger actually bounce out of this? D.Va going to finally go down.
But you only have so much damage.
Counter.
Oh, FUNZ!
Oh no, he gets popped by the Stukov. And now C10 taken out as well. And this double support, extremely hardy composition here from blue. It's showing its value.
Yeah, I mean, still not even a first blood, not even a single kill as DeadWish goes off to finish off the mid fort there. Not even a single kill collected so far for the red team through a hefty skirmish in the bottom lane, aided by the boss. Blue team, through all that healing, felt enabled to go for whatever they wanted on that bottom push. EpicPlayer now taking a moment to solo the bruisers here. They know that they've got some free time away from the pressures of red side. SQUIRREL taking this opportunity to solo cap. Gonna take a bit of damage, but hey, it's a Brightwing. Worst case scenario, they can always just head back and get right back into the action. Full health, full mana, not really perturbed at all by this. And we're gonna see actually the beginnings of a blue side push in top lane.
Blue is looking to push out that top with the bruiser camp, and red is in a pretty tough spot here. They're down 3 structures on Sky Temple. They're down nearly 3 levels, and that puts them in a position where they've got to look for fights, which is exactly what blue is best at. They've got this never die type composition that says, if you want to come and fight us, that's great. We'll take any fight you throw our way.
And here, blue side just pushing bruisers rather uncontested at the moment, up 3 levels. They know they have a talent advantage, and that 20 spell armor makes it extremely hard to interfere with. Lupus and FullOnGritz watching the rotations as red side makes sure to rotate through their own base for optimal safety. Down 2 levels, looks like this is going to be a free clear for topside bruisers. However, knowing that multiple members of red side are top lane, however this is being spotted out by Gritz, blue side is interfering and invading with the enemy siege camp, taking it for themselves, painting the map blue, as proponents of this tend to say. EpicPlayer here now taking their own siege camp, and this is just a dominating lead at the moment for blue side. No real opportunity at the moment with boss off the map, up 3 levels. No real opportunity for red side at the moment to be able to create a favorable situation outside of some sort of miracle pick.
They're in a pretty tough spot here. These constant mercenary camps mean they've got to keep someone back here to clear. They can't really split and try to get a ton of siege done in an off lane. Even if they do, the global presence from Brightwing means that blue can rotate that much more quickly. 13s are here for the red team, though, so if there's any fight that they're going to take, they're probably going to try to take it now, just in case. Looks for the Stormbolt and is trying to catch up.
Just in case going in here, they know with no Hogger here, this can be a 5v4 situation on equal talent tiers. Like you said, D.Va moving in actually doesn't get the opportunity to detonate her bomb through Polymorph. Spark killed in the 5-on-4 with the return, and now up level 16. Blue team is taking a step forward here. VerHD completely zoned out, just in case getting slammed into the side of the wall. Gunnar is about to go down next, and that is a quad kill. DeadWish actually running down Verten HD. Oh, for a second I thought they'd even try to go past the keep there, but no. That is going to be already threat onto this red side keep here. Will they go for game? I don't quite think so. Timers are rather short, and we do see Hogger playing on that top shrine, indicating that blue team will leave here, and it makes perfect sense, honestly. No need to play too risky yet. Just doing what they can to maintain their lead very safely. Make it hard for red team to catch up here. Not even going down a single fort so far. Blue side still commandingly in charge of this game.
Absolutely. There's no reason at all for blue to take any chances here, make any risky core calls. The game is completely in their favor right now, and just due to the fact that this is Sky Temple, all they really have to do is trade and go even, and this game is theirs.
Absolutely. Sky Temple is a map where you just stay ahead once you get it, if you know how to play with discipline. Mind control not connecting, as we do see the slaps from Stukov coming out for the peel. VerHD taking a lot of damage from the ball lightning, does manage to barely survive. FullOnGritz got another bomb, does manage to get it off this time, but dropping extremely low, will go down. First kill of the fight. Spark running around, trying not to be kill number 2 for the blue team here as they are running away. Kharazim granting some move speed to his allies, attempting to get out of this. It looks like they will be able to, cutting their losses to only a single death. However, this does mean the forfeiture of the rest of the bottom shrine. Red team running out of options to try to get back into this game. Bottom shrine going to get significant damage onto mid keep here, and they've got to make something happen. There's a boss play in the roots, or brewing.
Red's only got 4 right now, but this is their only opportunity. They're going to try to move in here. EpicPlayer coming around the outside to aid in this boss push. Greymane moving on up, trying to get some extra damage onto this Hogger. But look at the silence on the point. EpicPlayer trying to spin to keep that health up. Sylvanas and Greymane go down. There's Muradin. There's Kharazim. It was
FullOnGritz.
It was the only call that could be made.
Yeah, just needing to contest that boss there. If they get that boss, if blue side gets that boss, that is game over automatically. Red side, that was not a very heavily advantaged fight. In fact, it was a very heavily disadvantaged fight, but they were very sorely lacking in options by that time. They had to contest that boss, and even with the amount of control that they have with the D.Va mech, it unfortunately just was not able to materialize into anything, into the Hogger Hog Wild pressure, even into Stukov slaps, which I don't even think got used on that boss fight, as we see them come out right here. This one is GG for the blue team game 1.
Blue putting together a very, very good comp and playing it exactly how it needed to be played, pick up the victory. I think the big thing that I noticed from one of those last fights is if you ever want to see what a 4 level up ball lightning can do to a backline, there's a clip in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that was just absolutely wild to watch play out in real time. We would just see the red team's backline go in, and then ball lightning would happen. Everyone getting absolutely shredded as we go through this game in the moment. Cassia, I want to take a look at that damage stat. 51,000, 2.5 times the top damage dealer of red side, VerHD, on that Greymane there. And we definitely saw that play out. Muradin not even safe, especially with that Haymaker, unable to augment his health bar, into the damage of Surge of Light, into that burst from Cassia. Definitely a massively interfering feature of that game. Just anytime I felt like red tried to go in, blue team had the answer. They had the polymorph, they had the slaps from Stukov, they had the response just in raw damage from Cassia, because as they say, damage is the best CC. It just felt like red, everything they tried, they just couldn't quite get it to work.
The strategy coming out from what it looked like with the Muradin, with the Kharazim, Sylvanas, Greymane, was they wanted to blitz those towers. And they got some good ones in the early going, but I think the real key to how blue managed to respond is they got to keep Brightwing in the off lane, getting the experience, while red had to group up in one lane to execute their strategy. So just the defenses were good, the minion XP was going their way, and it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get kills in that situation when you depend on getting that auto attack damage. Just like somebody has mentioned in my Twitch chat, into Stukov, biotic armor is just such a natural tool. Having the ability to grant 75 physical armor on demand makes your targets virtually unkillable, especially when you factor in the Brightwing, as we saw Red Team struggling to get any picks at all there. I will say I'm very impressed with the discipline by the blue team to stick to exactly how their comp functions, to stick to exactly what their comp wanted to do. That shows an understanding of their draft, not only in the ability to draft well, but in the ability to follow up with that and play in a playstyle appropriate to what they're going for there. Smart execution from both the draft through the playstyle. They have to match with each other. I've seen lots of good drafts, and I've seen lots of good drafts played very poorly, and I'll tell you, that was not an example right there. They knew what they were going for, they had it in their minds from the start, and they played it to perfection.
Absolutely. Like, that sort of comp can work on other maps as well, but I mean, just working so well on Sky Temple, just having the ability to snap camps whenever you want, to just live on top of those temple points at all times. I think what really shone out there, despite those obvious advantages, was the defensive advantages of the Brightwing and the Stukov. Like, it was just very difficult for Red Side to stick to any sort of building for any period of time.
Yeah, I mean, just with any kind of disengage, with the They really tried, you know, they had a Sylvanas. You could tell that they wanted to make those push attempts onto those structures, but that was just going to be so naturally difficult into that interference of the blue side, or sorry, of the blue side right there. It was just absolutely rough the entire time. Blue side felt aware of what the enemy drafter was doing. They saw right through their gimmicks. They said, okay, you want to push into us? Push into these two supports. Anytime you try to push into us, you're not going to be able to get the split push pressure here. We will make it a 5-on-5. You're going to play our game, and we win at our game. We've got our second lobby coming up here, and this is going to be a Tomb of the Spider Queen session.